All right, guys, today we are going to be reacting to Trump's holds meeting with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Thank you so much for the support, guys. We're going to simply jump in here. Let's see what's going on. This is between Germany and Trump, the President of the United States. Let's jump in, guys. Let's see what's going on.
They do that in Germany very much, and we do it here. We're having a very good run. I also had a great election, a great win, won everything. Won the popular vote, all 7 swing states, which is a big deal. Yeah. It's pretty unusual to do that. And we have a great mandate from the people, and part of our mandate is we're going to have a great relationship with your country. So I just want to thank you very much for being here, and if you'd like to say a few words.
Absolutely. So, thank you, first of all, Mr. President, for your kind invitation to come to Washington, D.C. I was in this building first time ever in 1982, I told you, when former President Ronald Reagan was in office. So I'm very happy to be here again and to offer our close cooperation with the United States of America. Yeah. We are having so much in common, our history. We owe the Americans a lot. We will never forget about that. And so with your German provenance, I think this is a very good basis for close cooperation between America and Germany. So again, thank you. Thank you for the hospitality, and thank you for having your guest house for a night. This is a great place. Great place. Many thanks for that. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
It's a wonderful place. It's a landmark also. And Blair House is it's a nice place to stay. Yeah. Good. Thank you very much for saying that. Would you have any questions, please?
Mr. President, on your new travel ban, why now? And if the Boulder attack was part of your reasoning, why not include Egypt on that list where the suspect is from?
Well, because Egypt has been a country that we deal with very closely. They have things under control. The countries that we have don't have things under control. And why now? I can say that it can't come soon enough, frankly. We want to keep bad people out of our country. The Biden administration allowed some horrendous people, and we're getting them out one by one, and we're not stopping until we get them out. We have thousands of murderers. I even hate to say this in front of the Chancellor. Of course, you have a little problem, too, with some of the people that were allowed into your country. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It shouldn't have happened. I told her it shouldn't have happened what she did. But you...
Yo, this is going to be crazy, man. I don't know if you guys are going to like it. I really don't. Yo, Trump is crazy, man.
You have your own difficulty with that, and we do, and we're moving
them
out.
Yo, people are not going to like this in my comment section.
But it can't come fast enough. We want to get them out. We want to get them out now. We don't want to have other bad people coming into our country. By using the word bad, I'm being nice. Okay, question?
As a distraction.
You put out on Truth Social a post regarding your conversation with President Xi.
Right.
Can you talk about whether or not you feel that trade talks, trade relations are back on track after appearing to be a little bit off track last week?
A little bit off track. It was only the complexity. It's pretty complex stuff. We had a very good conversation with President Xi a little while ago, just before your arrival. In fact, we just hung up, and they said, "You're here." I said, "That's pretty good." Two great leaders of the world in a very short period of time. We had a very good talk, and we've straightened out any complexity. It's very complex stuff, and we straightened it out. The agreement was we're going to have Scott and Howard and Jameson will be going and meeting with their top people and continue it forward. But no, I think we have everything. I think we're in very good shape with China and the trade deal. We have a deal with China, as you know, but we were straightening out some of the points, having to do mostly with rare earth, magnets, and some other things.
So those reduced trade tariff rates, they remain in effect?
Yeah, we have the deal. I mean, we've had a deal. We announced the deal, and we'll be, I guess you could say, I wouldn't even say finalizing it up, Scott. I would say we have a deal, and we're going to just make sure that everybody understands what the deal is. Okay. We had a really good conversation. By the way, he invited me to China, and I invited him here. We both accepted. So I'll be going there with the First Lady at a certain point, and he'll be coming here, hopefully, with the First Lady of China.
Mr. President, what do you expect from Germany?
Go ahead, please.
Did you talk about the Chinese students? Are you allowing them to come to the U.S.?
You know, Chinese students are coming. No problem. No problem.
Okay, and on
It's our
Russia?
honor to have them, frankly. Look, we want to have foreign students, but we want them to be checked. You know, in the case of Harvard and Columbia and others, all we want to do is see their list. There's no problem with that. This is anybody outside of our country, international students, because when we see some of the people that we've been watching, we say, where do these people come from? How is that possible? No, we want to have foreign students come. We're very honored by it, but we want to see their list. Harvard didn't want to give us the list. They're going to be giving us the list now. I think they're starting to behave, actually, if you want to know the truth.
It's crazy, man. He liked this. As a president, he just liked that. A lot of people knows him from New York and the real estate environment. I don't know. I'm just saying this. I used to work in real estate in New York. It's a rough market. You have to be tough skin. Like, you have to be a little bit of that street mentality kind of stuff. Imagine doing that in the 80s and the 70s, man. Bro, you build different. So that I think that's why a lot of people don't understand how he behaves, right? He just come from a very different purview. I'll put it like that.
On Russia, are you willing to put more pressure on Putin to end the war by imposing new sanctions on Russia and also on China?
Well, remember, I'm the one that ended Nord Stream 2. Going to a place called Germany, come to think of it. I'm sorry I did that. I don't know. But I ended Nord Stream 2. Nobody else did. And then when Biden came in, he immediately approved it. That's essentially the largest pipeline in the world, going to Germany and other countries. And by the way, we have so much oil and gas, you will not be able to buy it all. I mean, you literally, we have so much, and I hope we're going to make that a part of our trade deal because we have more than anybody else. We have actually the most by far in the world, probably double what anyone else has. So we'll work on that. I'm sure that's something we'll discuss today.
Mr. President,
What do you expect from Germany and what do you expect from the Chancellor?
Well, first of all, I'm glad to meet because I've been dealing with the Chancellor, and he's a very good man to deal with. He's difficult, I would say. Can I say that? It's a positive.
Go ahead.
You wouldn't want me to say you're easy, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want to. You want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's a tough guy, right? He's a tough guy. Now I reacted to him just, overseeing the marches and the parades, and the body language was a little, not easy. Here, he has a very good body language. Here, he feels like, he's in control, right? But in the other ones, I don't know.
Representative of Germany. I think all we want is just going to have a good relationship. The rest will just sort of follow very easily. We'll have a good trade deal. I mean, I guess that will be mostly determined by the European Union, but you're a very big part of that, so you'll be involved. But we'll end up hopefully with a trade deal, or we'll do something. We'll do the tariffs. I mean, I'm okay with the tariffs, or we make a deal with the trade, and I guess that's what we're discussing now.
Mr. President.
Back there, please. Go ahead.
Mr. President? Okay.
Is Germany doing enough on defense, Mr. President? Is Germany doing enough on defense?
What?
Defense spending.
is Germany doing enough on defense?
The Chancellor wants to.
Is Germany doing enough on
The Chancellor wants to
defense?
spend 3.5.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't discussed it very much. I know that you're spending more money on defense now, and quite a bit more money, and that's a positive thing. I'm not sure that General MacArthur would have said it's positive. He wouldn't like it, but I sort of think it's good. You understand what I mean by that?
MacArthur,
He made a statement, never let Germany rearm.
Yeah.
And I said, I always think about that when he says, sir, we're spending more money on defense. I say, ooh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's a good thing. But, at least to a certain point. There'll be a point when I'll say, please don't arm anymore. We'll be watching him. Let's get it.
Mr. President.
On Biden, Mr. President.
Yeah, Biden, you said Biden.
Your predecessor dismissed your Autopen investigation. He said he made all the decisions during.
That's not a good body language. See, he gave in when Trump just tapped him right in the leg. He gave in. He gave in. He shouldn't have done that. He should have just kept composed and just give a little smirk and just, Yeah, now he looks a little in the weak side.
His dismissal.
Well, look, the Autopen, I think, is the big scandal outside of the rigged election of 2020. I think the biggest scandal of the last many years is the Autopen. And who's using it? I happen to think I know, okay, because I'm here. And I'm not a big Autopen person, fortunately. I'm glad. I'm very glad. It's an easy way out. But it's a very bad thing, very dangerous.
I don't know whether or not the Autopen is constitutional, but I don't think so. A lot of people are saying that yes, it is constitutional. A person would not be signing all that stuff, all these paperwork. I think that's BS. But I think a lot of decisions from Biden. I don't think the guy was there, man. I don't think the guy was there. Biden looked very weak. He looked like he was not there, man. He was just a puppet. There's some weird conspiracy just flying around when it comes down to Biden. I'm just gonna leave it there.
You know, I sign important documents. Usually when they put documents in front of you, they're important. Even if you're signing ambassadorships, and I consider that important. I think it's inappropriate. You have somebody that's devoting 4 years of their life or more to being an ambassador. I think you really that person deserves to get a real signature, not an Autopen signature. And I can tell Autopen easily. I can look at it like two little pinholes from pulling the paper, right? You always see the pinholes.
Yeah.
It's real easy to tell about Autopen.
Yeah.
I think
But you have, it's true because you have,
to people when they get
when you sign, right, that first dot is a little bigger than the last one that you sign, than the last trace.
Autopen signature. Outside, Autopen to me are used when thousands of letters come in from young people all over the country and you want to get them back. And, you know, people use Autopens for that, to send a little signature at the bottom of a letter. We have thousands of them. We get thousands of letters a week. And it's not possible to, you know, do. I'd like to do it myself, but you can't do it. To me, that's where Autopens start and stop. But I'm sure that he didn't know many of the things. Look, he was never for open borders. He was never for transgender for everybody. He was never for men playing in women's sports.
And this is not getting monetized.
All of these things that changed so radically. I don't think he had any idea that what was, frankly, I said it during the debate and I say it now, he didn't have much of an idea what was going on.
Mr. President,
He shouldn't be, I mean, essentially whoever used the Autopen was the president. And that is wrong, it's illegal, it's so bad, and it's so disrespectful to our country.
Mr. President.
Mr. President, will you leave your troops in Germany? And if I may ask a question to the Chancellor to answer in German for the German audience, how has your first encounter been?
The answer is yes. We'll talk about that. But if they'd like to have them there, yeah, we have a lot of them, about 45,000.
Damn! Wow, I didn't know that.
It's a city when you think of
More
it.
than that.
That's good economic development. They're highly paid troops, and they spend a lot of money in Germany.
Not good money.
But the relationship with Germany is very important. Yeah, we'll be doing that. No problem.
May I say a few words in German to
Yes,
the German
please.
public? So, danke für die Frage.
Yo,
Wir sind hier im Weißen Haus.
hold on. Danke. Whoa, I understand, but hold on, I'm not there yet.
Und ich bedanke mich beim Präsidenten für den sehr freundlichen Empfang im Oval Office in diesem weltweit bekannten Raum. Ich freue mich sehr, hier zu sein.
Damn, this dude is, he's too German, man. Golly, I need to lock myself in. Give me 1 second, guys. He's way too good, guys. Come on now.
We'll be doing that. No problem.
May I say a few words in German to
Yes,
the German
please.
public? So, danke für die Frage. Wir sind hier im Weißen Haus und ich bedanke mich beim Präsidenten für den sehr freundlichen Empfang im Oval Office in diesem weltweit bekannten Raum. Ich freue mich sehr, hier zu sein und wir bereiten eine Vertiefung unserer Zusammenarbeit vor. Ich freue mich sehr darüber.
Mr. President,
Do you speak English because you speak such good English? Is it as good as your German, would you say? Do you feel, do you
it's
feel
not
more
my mother
comfortable?
tongue. No, it's not my mother tongue, but I try to understand almost everything and
Yeah, very
to
good.
speak as good as I can.
Very good. You know, it's
Mr. President, you've made
it's an achievement, actually.
Mr. President,
Mr. President, can we
the
follow up on the
criticism that I've
Autopen?
seen regarding, thank you, Mr. President. The criticism that I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen, regarding Elon Musk and your big, beautiful bill, what's your reaction to that? Do you think it in any way hurts passage in the Senate, which of course, what is you're seeking?
Well, look, you know, I've always liked Elon, and it's always very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, the words of, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. It's the biggest.
Yeah, that bill's gonna. I mean, a couple of days ago, they were going back and forth regarding that bill. It was not going to pass through the Senate. Now it's going to pass. Now with everything that's going on, that thing's going to pass. And to be honest, the United States has a lot of problem when it comes down to migration, guys. I know a lot of you guys don't know that. I'm going to tell you from a real perspective from an American, guys. Americans are tired of immigration. They're tired. There's cities that are not even, they don't even look American right now. They don't look European descent. They just simply don't look like something that you would expect from an American perspective. And it's not for the better, right? It's for the worse. A lot of crimes. There's a lot of crimes. A lot of crimes, man. Not even in Puerto Rico, right? Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. We don't even have these problems, guys. You can literally just walk at night in Puerto Rico. You cannot walk at night in a lot of these places that you have a high immigration concentration, a lot of concentration with the immigration. You can't, because a lot of the demographics have changed. It's okay. You guys can dislike the video. It's okay. That give a little bit. I like it when you guys give it dislike, because actually those videos just go they go viral, I guess, because engagement. But that's the truth. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You guys, Germans, like to be honest, but I'm an honest person. That's what it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. That's what it is. Americans just got tired of immigration, especially with third worlds. So now with everything that's happening in LA, that it's very close to just get confrontation. Very, very close.
In the history of our country, we've never cut. It's about 1.6 trillion in cuts. It's the biggest tax cut. You would say, people's taxes will go way down, but it's the biggest tax cut in history. It's we are doing things in that bill that are unbelievable. And when you look at what we're doing for small businesses, for people, for middle-income people, all of the things that we're doing, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And, you know, Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and, you know, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles. And, you know, they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles. And they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy. And, you know, Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time.
Yeah, he knew. Trump, before all this, he said that he was going to take out the incentive. The reason is because it's not fair for the cars that, you know, it's not fair. Based on the way they see it, it's not fair for the cars that just work in gasoline, right? Regular gasoline. So you have to give incentive to electrical. You have to give incentive to the other ones, yeah.
That's been in there.
And I love electric cars, man. They are nice, smooth. Oh man, but you know, it is what it is.
I would say, JD, that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning, Mr. Secretary. That hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning. But I know that it disturbed him. He wanted, and rightfully, you know, he recommended somebody from that he, I guess, knew very well. I'm sure he respected him, but to run NASA. And I didn't think it was appropriate. And he happened to be a Democrat, totally Democrat. And I say, you know, look, we won. We get certain privileges, and one of the privileges, we don't have to appoint a Democrat. NASA is very important. We have great people. General Kane is going to be picking somebody with our. We'll be checking him out and seeing. But he wanted that person, a certain person, and we said no. And, you know, I can understand why he's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup. But he said, no, I don't think so, which is interesting. And very nice. He wants to be who he is. So you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We call it a great, big, beautiful bill because that's what it is. And again, biggest tax cuts in history, biggest economic development moves anywhere. We've never done anything like it. Business is spurred. And I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but the numbers came out. Even the CBO, which is run by Democrats, said that we're going to be doing, I'd like you to discuss it, the 2.8 trillion, that CBO. This is a group of people that are Democrats. They're very hostile to us. They just came out with phenomenal numbers, what it does. You want to mention that, Scott?
Yes, sir. So what we've seen is we keep hearing from the CBO that there's going to be a large deficit from the bill, which we disagree with, but using the CBO scoring, they came out and scored the tariff revenue. We think it'll be the minimum of $2.8 trillion over the 10-year window, which actually puts the bill in surplus if you include the tariff revenue, which they won't do.
It gives you a tremendous surplus, but we're not allowed to use that. For some reason, they say scoring. Nobody knows what scoring means. Maybe a couple of people, but nobody. Somebody sits in the background. They say, well, we're not going to allow that. They're not allowing other things that we have that are tremendously profitable for our country. But if you saw the other day, CNBC, they came out with numbers, and the people on the show, very good people, I've watched them for a long time, they couldn't believe the numbers, how good they are. The numbers were incredible, and that was personal income and also very low inflation. We have very low inflation. We're down to 2% now, and maybe even lower than that. And when I took it over, it was a mess. Remember, we had the worst inflation.
Yeah, but we had to pay the debt, man. I think we only paid so far only $91 billion for the debt, which is a start. It's a start, right? It's a start, but we had to pay, we had to pay at least half of the debt, man. And that way the inflation can go down, right? And that way the things can be more pricely affordable. And it's better for the future of the kids. If you can keep at least paying $2 or $3 trillion for debt, right? Without increasing the debt. For the next couple of years, that debt will be gone in no time. It's okay to borrow money and then invest, right? If you're going to invest to create a more prosperous economy, that debt can be paid by itself easily.
Probably in the history of our country. They say 48 years, but let's say I think it's worse than that. So we had the worst inflation in the history of our country under the Biden administration. Now we're down to a beautiful number, 2%. You'd actually like to keep it there. Better than zero is 2%. It's going down maybe to 1, and 1% is like perfect. That's perfect. You don't want to have zero for certain reasons.
Yeah, right now, when Trump took office, no, before Trump, right? When Biden was in office, a dozen eggs in Aldi was $5.78, right? $5.78. Today, it's $1.99 in Aldi.
That nobody is very interested to listen to.
Yeah, I'm going to just leave it there because we're going to do this in parts. So let me know what you guys think. It's okay if you guys disagree with me. Put it in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one.